Hey, Tim, this is Danny Smith. Just calling to tell you how much I appreciate listening to your shows, Truckers' Voices. It's very informative. I really like hearing the drivers' stories, how they got into the trucking industry and maybe what kind of trucks they started out with. And it's just been a lot of fun, and I would encourage any drivers out there to tune in and listen, call in, be a part of it. It's a great show.
Hey, this is Chuck Lopesiger, and I listen to Truckers' Voices every Thursday evening from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook or YouTube with host Tim Taylor and co-host Steve Brand, because it keeps me informed about the industry and the drivers that keep our country moving forward. Don't forget, Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there.
Hi, this is Scott Post, and I love Truckers' Voices because there's always something entertaining and educational for our industry. And it's also hosted by two of my good friends, Tim Taylor and Steve Brand. Tune in tonight. And in the meantime, be safe out there.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? My name's Charlie Demchuk, and I'm here to welcome you to tonight's big show. Y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Tim and Steve got a good one in store for you. So have a good night. We'll see you.
Hi, this is Tony Wainwright. I hope you enjoy listening to Truckers' Voices as much as I do. Now, without any further ado, kick back, kick your shoes off, air your corns out, and get ready to listen to another fine show.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I almost said good morning there. I'm so used to saying good morning on some of my morning videos there, but hey, hey, whatever it is, it's good, right? So that's what I say. Everything's good. If you had a good day, you made it back home to your family. You come, like Steve says, the most important trip of the day is the trip that you come back home through that door and to your family. And that's a lot of truth in that, because that's why we lace our boots up every day, and we go out there and we get in those trucks and we do our pre-trips and we get that freight ready to go. And we're keeping America moving forward, but we do it for our families and every one of us out there. We got a mission every day. The highways aren't always kind sometimes, and I just when I see an accident on the highway, especially if it's involving a big truck, my heart just goes out to that driver, plus his or her family, because I know that they had intentions of making it back to wherever they were going, but. Anyway, y'all be careful out there. And if you're listening to us tonight out there, we appreciate you. And if you're listening on the replay, we appreciate you listening on the replay, because we do get a lot of people listening on the replay, whether it be the next day at 9 a.m. on Facebook, or whether it is, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or on YouTube. We're over there on YouTube too. So I want to shout out to all of those of you that's tuning into YouTube tonight. We appreciate y'all watching there. So anyway, we're coming down to the last part of the year, and freight levels slow down sometimes, and people start taking off, and all this other kind of stuff. So hey, I want to tell you, I appreciate everything that y'all have done throughout the year, but we got to keep going. We got to keep being safe, mile marker to mile marker, and that's how we do it. That's how we do it. It's mile marker to mile marker, being safe. Hey, without further ado, guess what? I got to bring Mr. Steve Brand in here. Let me get his song ready to go here. Okay, so let me go and key that up.
Me rolling, they hating,
They hating on you there, Steve.
Hate on me, baby. Hate on me.
Simpson's trying to catch you riding dirty, man. Because I see Simpson in here tonight. Oh, man. So Simpson, he's going to catch you out there riding dirty somewhere one day.
I'm telling you. But it's all good, man. They can hate on me all they want to. At least they're leaving somebody else alone. You know what I'm saying?
As long as they ain't messing with you, right?
Yeah. Leave everybody else alone. Pick on me. I'm the little guy.
Hey, this is the one that you don't want behind you right here.
Exactly. You don't want that one. I'll tell you what, I don't know what's going on up there on I-71 today, but they was everywhere. Everywhere.
Listen, MCCD in Georgia today was tearing it up, man. They had people pulled over on the shoulder today doing inspections. And I was really surprised that MCCD was doing that because it was raining. It rained all day up and all the day back. And I'm like, y'all really out here doing inspections on the shoulder of the road and it's raining like this? And I guess they got to get them numbers up, because they gotta have them numbers put in that new book, for however many inspections been done.
That's right. They gotta get them numbers up, but raining and on the side of the road. I mean, come on now, be a little safer, please.
But you know what, Steve? They're doing that for you and me, right? Because we know that the numbers in the Facts for Drivers book has got to go up, so we'll have something different to look at because we all got it memorized.
Well, of course. Of course. No. Page 42, paragraph 3, line 4. I don't know. No.
Yeah, I know somebody that will appreciate numbers. That's Miss Rebecca Meyer Brewster. She's in here watching it tonight, so she'll appreciate those numbers,
Hey, speaking of Miss Rebecca, I seen a post a while ago she put on there. Happy anniversary to her and her husband.
Happy anniversary, Rebecca.
Exactly. Happy anniversary.
Absolutely.
She's probably getting ready to go down to Austin, Texas, down to MC&E. I think she's got to, I was reading today on my lunch break, she's got to give all the survey answers.
Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you, I appreciate it because she always puts it up on Truckers Voices page. And I hope that everybody that's listening went there and filled out that survey, for some of the top concerns there.
Exactly.
But anyway, let's go ahead and get this out of the way and give a few shout outs. But let me go ahead and get this part out of the way. The views expressed on the show are those of the host and guest only and do not reflect those of others. Good enough, Steve?
Good enough for me, man. Good enough for me.
All right, man. Well, we got that out of the way. So anyway, what did I just? Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and give some shout outs there. You want to give some shout outs from people that's viewing the page on Trucker Voices page right now?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Go ahead. I'm talking to you, man.
Talking to me? Who are you talking to?
Hold on. This is you.
There you go. That's about what it sounds like in my head. So, let's start it out here. We got Jeff Wade. We got Nancy Shannon Post. We got Bob Hare. We got Timothy. Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, Timothy. Hey, let me say something about Timothy. Timothy is kind of new to the page, but I know him. He follows me on TikTok quite a bit, and he drives for Old Dominion. So we got an OG driver in here tonight.
Awesome. Welcome to the show, man.
From northern Mississippi, of all places.
Exactly. Got Mr. Russ Simpson in here tonight.
Russ Simpson.
Yeah, buddy. I haven't talked to Russ in a couple of weeks. I need to give him a holler. How you doing, Russ? Jeff Wade's in here again. David Williams. Old Ron Round's in here. I bet he's kicked back, relaxed in a hotel somewhere in Texas.
Probably so, out there at Austin, right?
Yeah, he's probably East Texas. I don't know. Maybe around Dallas area, maybe a little south. But
hey, Ron, call in later on tonight when I open the phone lines up, man. Call in and let us know what you're doing, Ron.
Exactly. Last time I talked to him, he was in a backup in Cincinnati.
Hey, listen. That's my life. Danny Smith will tell you that. That's my life up there every day in Atlanta. I mean, I'm just used to it, right?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And you're just riding along, everything looking good. You done check the Google Maps, everything looking good. All of a sudden, there ain't nothing but brake lights. You're like, what is going on?
I expect it. Go ahead.
So got Ben Atkinson, Daryl Ellerby,
Yep.
and well, that's all I see here on my little phone. Unless there's more to come, you might have something more than I got.
No. I don't have it broadcasting over on the Safety Drive page tonight. I wanted everybody to come to the Truckers Voices page tonight so we can kind of keep a look on who all's doing, because you and I, our attention wouldn't be divided, But anyway, it's good for everybody being here. Let me check the comments over here. Scott Post, you did mention Scott Post earlier, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, are you about ready to get this show started? Because we got a good guest that's waiting in the wings there, and he's been on the show. He's no stranger to the show. He used to be a frequent caller, but he's also been on the show before. But I wanted to bring him back on because there's some things that have changed in his life. We just want to see what's going on with him, and why don't we just bring Mr. Danny Smith on in here? Let me get my my right one. All right, here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
You get that music box over there, man. He's got it going on.
What an intro.
You are a Rocky of the trucking industry. I will say that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I rocked it for 43 years, and then I clocked out.
Thank you very much for that. That's outstanding.
Oh, how are y'all tonight?
We're good, Danny. We're good. Now, tell the listening audience a little bit about where you're coming from tonight, because I think that's part of the change that has happened in your life here recently.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming to you live from Katy, Texas, just out of Houston. My wife and I just purchased a house here about 30 days ago. We sold our house in Florida back in 1st of August. August 1st, I think, is when they closed on it. And we moved out here and we stayed with my daughter. I got a daughter that lives in Houston. One of the reasons we moved out here to be a little closer to her, to help her. And I retired in the 22nd day of February. And I'll be honest with you, so far I've not missed the trucking part, but I've been busy. Once I retired, I wound up driving a bus occasionally there in Florida for this nonprofit dentist group. They had two big, I forget the brand on, but there were new buses that had been converted into dentist office, and they went to elementary schools, and they'd stay anywhere from 2 weeks to maybe 4 weeks at that school, but they had to have a CDL driver to move the bus. And so I did that. I moved both the buses around there in Walton County where I lived. Then I volunteered at the school. I helped pack up a library so they could tear the building down to build a new one. That was a chore. Then I volunteered also for animal rescue there called Aliquot. And they had everything from monkeys to cows to goats and all kinds of birds. And then, of course, tons of dogs and cats and things like that. And I mostly did a lot of labor there. About every 2 months, they get a load of dog food, 40,000 pounds of dog food. And they unload it and just set it outside. They have these like 40-foot storage containers, but I've never seen anything like it. I've hauled a lot of dog food in my life, but this dog food, I guess, was collected. Some of the bags had been busted and taped up or whatever, but each pallet was stacked about as high as my head, and it was everything on the pallet. And I broke it down. Separated dog food from cat food because they had cat food on it also. And it puppy food, adult dog, you name it. And I did that. And then we decided we wanted to move to Texas. So my wife was still working. So I was in charge of keeping the house clean and having it ready when when the phone call came that somebody wanted to come look at it. I had to be sure it was top notch. So I become house cleaner. Dog take care. I got a little dog, and me and him pretty much took care of the house. And then we moved to Texas. And I've been pretty busy out here, just, trying to find a house. A lot of things. Today, I've been trying to get my tags transferred. I got a letter from Florida yesterday that if I didn't get this done by the 18th, they're going to cancel my license.
Oh, Lord.
Because they think I don't have insurance.
Yeah.
But I do. I have State Farm insurance. I've had it my entire life. That's all I've ever had. And when I moved from Florida to Texas, I found an agent here and had it changed over. But Florida I guess State Farm don't talk to each other from state to state or something. I don't know. So they think I don't have insurance. But
Who knows?
I've been working on that today. Yesterday, I had to help my daughter. She called. She had a flat tire, so I had to drive over and go get a tire fixed for her. So that's been my life this year. But, I drove a truck for 43 years. Started in 1980, hauling milk, farm pickup. I picked up milk on the farm. Picked up usually 8, sometimes 10 stops, middle of the night. As soon as I got it loaded, it was just had to haul tail to Florida. Went to Orlando or Tampa with it. As soon as it got empty, turn around, come back, and do it all again. Did that for a few years. And then I got into, I got tired dragging that hose and trying to find my way into a barn in the middle of the night. Old farmers wouldn't turn any lights on, and raining. And I had one place in Lynchburg, Tennessee. I had to back off the road for about a half mile, 3/4 of a mile to the barn because there was no room to turn around at the barn. And so then I went to Dry Box, and that's where I stayed. I worked for 2 or 3 companies. I wound up going to work for one there in Shelbyville 28 years ago, and I stayed there till the day I retired.
Yeah.
It's been it was a good run. Good. It was good for me. Good for my family.
Yeah.
So
So just backing up a little bit, how many years was you absolutely with Big G there, Big G Express?
28.
28 years.
28 years.
Yeah. And all of your trucking driving years, you absolutely was OTR, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell me. Go ahead.
Probably. I mean, the companies I drove for before I went to work at Big G, none of them exist anymore. They've closed up, whatever. They're not around. So I can't verify any of those miles. But we sat down one time there. The last year I worked at Big G, and probably somewhere between 4 and 5 million miles.
Okay.
Yeah. I had almost 4 million miles at Big G.
Yeah.
It was 389 or something like that, I think, the last I heard. And I did work 2 more months, so it was a little more than that. Yeah.
So your time as a over the road driver, tell me, you did that. You slept in a bunk many a nights. Tell me how hard that was with the problem that we have in the nation with truck parking.
Well, for the last 10 years, it's probably the biggest problem I faced. Right. Well, besides dealing with traffic and backups and things like that, but it was a problem on a daily basis. Where am I going to sleep tonight? And there were times that, but before electronic logs, we'll just tell it how it is. Before electronic logs, things were a lot different. And there were times that I wound up sleeping in places that I shouldn't have. Today I wouldn't. But you were so tired when you laid down, you didn't care. You just that's just the way it was. Of course, times were different then too. It wasn't as bad. I slept on the streets of Compton, California. I've slept downtown Chicago. But that was a long time.
Man, you're a brave man sleeping downtown Chicago.
We used to haul sporting goods up to the Bronx and to a distribution center up there, and we'd park on the street up there. We go in there that night, and you'd have to pay the guy. You had to pay a guy $10 to watch your truck. I mean, that was just the deal, you know. You pay him $10, and that was like, I guess, like, you know, protection money or whatever.
Exactly.
But you better have $10 when you went up there and parked on the street, because he's going to be coming down through there getting his $10 from everybody parked on the street.
Right, but nobody bothered your truck.
Nobody. No.
Exactly.
Well, you know, in my whole time of trucking, I only had I had my fuel stolen once. This was probably been about 2008 or so. Whenever fuel was sky high, you know, and it was in Withville, Virginia, at the Flying J truck stop. And I went to bed, and I had like 3/4 of a tank of fuel, so I was good to go. I was headed up to Watsontown, Pennsylvania, so I'm good. And I get up the next morning, eat breakfast, whatever, and I do my pre-trip and all this. Well, I didn't even look at my fuel gauge because I knew I had 3/4 of a tank. And I get out on the interstate, and I get about 5 miles up the road, and I look down, and that thing is almost on empty. And, you know, I was at my fuel stop that I could get fuel, so I had to turn around and hope I didn't run out and get back down there.
Right.
Fuel. And then one time, and this was after I moved to Florida, I picked a load of beer up down in Lakeland, Florida, going to Montgomery, Alabama. And I spent the night at the truck stop in Marianna. And it was well lit up. I was backed up to a fence, and on the other side of the fence was the retention pond. And I got up the next morning and done my pre-trip, and I walked around, and I saw the latch on the door. My lock was gone. I had a lock on it. And they didn't cut the lock. They cut the two pieces that go together like that, you know, and then your lock goes through it. They cut that off and to get in the trailer, but they didn't steal anything.
Really?
Didn't steal a thing.
Wrong flavor of
Yeah,
beer.
it was stretch wrap. I got up and looked around, you know, because I knew they was going to steal it. They'd got what was on the back anyway, but I couldn't see anything. So I went on to Montgomery.
Must have been Bud Light.
They unloaded it, and there was no problem. But then the problem was, now I got a trailer I can't secure.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I had to go to a trailer shop, spend half a day to get these pieces replaced so I could lock the door.
Wow.
So that's only two things that I ever had happen to me out on the road.
Yeah. Yeah. So Danny, tell us a little bit about some of your travels since you've retired. Tell us where you've been and where you're going.
Oh, well, you know, I retired the 22nd day of February, and me and my wife, we just celebrated our 45th wedding anniversary on August the 25th. We've never been on a honeymoon. We both got married young. We got married in the church. We had a small church wedding on Friday night, and went back to work on Monday. She was going to college, and I was working. So we've never been on a honeymoon. So this is our 45th. So we went to Costa Rica for a week and had a great time down there. Great time. And then my youngest daughter has moved from Thailand. They've been living in Thailand. Her husband is going back to school at Yale in New Haven, Connecticut, to get his master's degree. He's doing a 1-year program, so they've moved back. So about 3 weeks ago, we went up there for a week, and that was the first time I've had to put on a pair of blue jeans since about January or February. It was cold up there. So, you know, but I'm doing things now that I retired that I could never do when I was working.
Right.
I just, you know, it was just life, you know, I got married, and then, you know, 2 years later we had a child, and then like 6 years later we had another child. So, you know, you got kids growing up. I had 2 daughters, I have two daughters, and you know, there's school events, there's this, there's that, and that was one good thing about Big G. Most of the big events I got home for, you know.
Right.
But you know, that, and then we go off to college. So now I'm strapped, you know, trying to pay for college, and that went on for like 10 years between the two of them, and you know, and then it just never was time to do anything like that, you know. And we're leaving in November. We're going to go out to Portland, Oregon for 17 days and house sit, which is something I thought about doing anyway. And my daughter, one of her friends, just happened to be talking to her and say, you know, we're going to Brazil for a month. We need somebody to come and sit at the house and feed the cat. And so we're going to go, we're going out there for 17 days. We're not going to stay the whole month because we want to be home for Thanksgiving. But we're taking the dog with us. I've talked to the girl twice, and she says, oh yeah, the cat's fine with dogs. She said, we keep people's dogs all the time. The cat won't bother the dog. And she's fine with us bringing the dog. So me and the wife and the dog are going to load up and go to Portland. I've never been to Portland.
Yeah.
On vacation or anything. Oh, I've been to Portland in a truck, but all I saw was what I saw driving on the interstate through there, you know?
Right.
Steve, I was telling Danny the other day when he was telling me this that he needed to look up Chris Uten while he's out there, because you know Chris can probably give him some pointers on some stuff to go see or where to go eat or anything like that, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So
But,
anyway,
are you
go ahead.
y'all gonna drive out there? Or are you flying out there?
No, we're going to fly.
You gonna fly? Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we already got our tickets. We did that about a month ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, figured it's really going to be a cheap vacation, really.
Oh,
Danny,
You know,
yeah. I
because
want
we're
to
going to stay at that house and use their car. Don't need a car. So they're excited about us coming. So we're excited to go.
Danny, I want to share the screen with everybody before we get too far, and I want you to talk about what it was like, how it felt on your last day there with Big G. I want you to kind of talk to us about this a little bit.
Well, that's the last set of keys that I had, and for 43 years, I carried a set of truck keys in my pocket until February 22nd, and I rolled in about 5 o'clock in the afternoon to the yard, and my wife drove up. She didn't get there at about 9 o'clock at night, so that gave me time to clean my truck out, you know, pack my stuff. I'd already take a lot of the stuff out, but you know, as an over-the-road driver, my wife says I'm a pack rat. You know, she keeps reminding me of that. This morning we're in the garage, and I got like 4 or 5 big plastic tubs of trucking stuff, and we loaded up. And then the next day we had a little celebration at work, lunch and all that, and I said my goodbyes, and we came back to Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, on that day, I just want to kind of pick your brain a little bit. On that day, as you was making your last trip, what was going through your mind as you was rolling along there? What was going on? What was you thinking about?
I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. It's the first time in my life I didn't have a job. You know, I didn't know. I knew financially I was okay. You know, my official retirement date was 66 and a half because of my birthday, but I went ahead and retired at 66. Well, 66 and 2 months.
Yeah.
I did that for 2 or 3 reasons. Some was for some insurance and some different things, but you know, I'm able to have insurance now, and I wanted to enjoy life. I'd contemplating working another 1.5 years, but I got to thinking, you know, you just never know what's around that next curve, you know, and I know that as I've gotten older, my reactions are not as quick as maybe they should be. And, I just felt it was time for me to hang the keys up and come home. Now, I've not had any problems at all. I really haven't missed driving a truck. I see them every once in a while. I didn't see any there for a couple of months in Florida. I hardly ever saw a truck, but driving over here, you get out on the interstate and you see all these trucks and that was one thing at Big G. I was really spoiled there. I don't know how many new trucks I got at Big G. It was well over 30, probably 35, 36 new trucks in 28 years. I know some people think, well, that's crazy, but I liked getting a new truck. I like getting, we ran, when I started, we started out with Peterbilt's. And then from there, we went to Volvos. And from there, we went to Freightliners. And then we bought some Macs. Then we bought Kenworths, and I always liked getting a new truck. It always had the newest and latest technology in it, And, a lot of people back when we first started getting automatics, you know how that went over. Nobody wanted an automatic. And I kept telling them, I said, if you've never drove one, how can you say you don't want one?
That's right.
I said, you get one and drive it. And then you don't want to go back to that, man. There was times, after some of our drivers that drove automatics and something went wrong with their truck, whatever. And they was going to put them in another truck. And they didn't want to, no. If it's not automatic, I'll just go home till you get mine fixed.
Yeah, it'll definitely spoil you, especially in stop and go traffic.
And it was the same way with the ELDs.
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking about.
The pushback was just tremendous. Nobody, oh no. But then once you got to doing it, and including me, if it went down and it was going to be a day or so before they could get it fixed, I'll just sit at home. I don't want to get in another truck. I'll just wait to get it fixed. Or I don't want to have to use a log book. Exactly. And then that gets complicated now, with a log book for 4 or 5 days and then go back to the electronic.
Right. Yeah.
So our trucks had some of the latest safety equipment on it. You name it, it had it. The only thing we did not have was the driver-facing cameras.
Right.
But, I couldn't say out of all the different safety things that are on trucks today, that which one, somebody said, well, which one's the best? Well, I don't know. They all work together, That's the way I look at it anyway.
That's one of my safety questions when I go out on a road team event. I talk about all them safety events and I just look at the kids and I say, out of everything I just said, what do you think's the most important? And they'll start screaming out everything and I'll just start pointing to myself. And I said, no matter how much safety stuff you come up with, the driver is the safest thing on the truck.
It's only as good as you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I've 43 years, I never had an accident until about 3 years ago. I was coming up I-95, coming through Daytona Beach area up there, about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. It was in January, so it's dark. I'm in the middle lane. The interstate's 3-lane through there. I'm in the middle lane, minding my own business. And one of those ramps there in Daytona is a 2-lane ramp coming on. It's 2 lanes.
I know what you're talking about.
And, and I'm going north and I'm in the middle lane and all at once, bam, I'm hit in the right steer tire by some black SUV. I mean, I'm hit hard. So hard I can't steer the truck now.
Ouch.
And I'm slowing down. But the truck is luckily it was gradually wanting to go right. I couldn't stop it. It was going to go right, but it wasn't a hard right. It was just gradual. But in the process, I sideswiped a car because he was beside me, and when all this happened, the SUV didn't hit him, but the side of my truck did. And to get off on the shoulder, the car gets off. It's an older couple on vacation from Washington State,
Oh boy.
and it's knocked the mirror off and put a couple of scratches down the driver's side. I mean, it's still drivable, but it was damaged. And the SUV is nowhere to be seen. And it's dark, and I saw brake lights come on as the SUV went back over, slowed down or something, and come behind me and come back around on my left side. The one that hit me, and they got in front of me as I'm trying to get it off the road, trying to get stopped, and the brake lights come on because they got on the shoulder too, and then all at once they took off. And,
Wow.
But then I could see brake lights about a half a mile up the interstate because it's real straight right there. And then the brake lights went out, and I'm talking to this guy in the car from Washington, and I'm saying, I believe that car is on the shoulder up there because every time a car go by, I could see the reflection of the license plate, And so it took about 40 minutes to get a state trooper out there, which I thought that kind of odd in the area where I was. But
Yeah,
he gets
really.
out there, and you know what the first thing he said? It was my fault. I hit the car.
Of course. Yeah.
And I said, well, look at all the damage to my front wheel, and fender and bumper. Where's the damage on the car? It's just a, scrape down the side, and the mirror's knocked off. I said, I think the car that hit me is right up there. And he wasn't wanting to buy it. And finally, he said, well, let me go up there and see. So he goes up there, and he comes back about 15 minutes later, and he said, yep, that's it. It's sitting up there. It's a black SUV. I said, was anybody hurt? He says, nobody in it. It was a hit and run. And then it was not, they drove it as far as they could, and it wouldn't drive any further.
Yeah.
But had it not been for that camera, there'd been no, and if that car hadn't, been sitting up there, but once they pulled the video, you could see plainly what happened. You can see the SUV, you can see the license plate, and you can actually see it. Because I didn't know what was going on, because at this point, I'm just trying to get it off the road because there's traffic running 75 mile an hour on both sides of me, and
Right.
You can see it come up on my left side and pull in front of me and hit the brakes for just maybe 30 seconds, and then they take off.
Right.
That's kind of where we are as truck drivers. If there's an accident, where people are real quick to assume it was the truck's fault.
Right.
They know or anything. And
Hey,
that's one thing I really like.
Yeah.
Out of all the safety equipment on trucks, I really like the fact now we have a camera that will show us what happened.
Right. Right. I've got the phone lines open, so let's just go ahead with the conversation. But I did open the phone lines, and if you want to call in and talk to Danny and greet him, the show number is 251-616-2151. I'm going to say it one more time. That is 251-616-2151. So yeah, we would love to hear from you tonight if y'all want to call in there. So anyway,
I do have a question.
go ahead, Danny. Go ahead, see.
Yeah, hold off on the crickets. I actually got a question. But on a serious note, are you going to keep your CDL? I've talked to
Yes.
some drivers.
Yeah.
I've talked to some drivers. They kept it till it run out, and then they just said, "Nope, I'm going back to just an automobile. I don't want to."
No, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to go ahead. I will be my medical card. I think will have to be renewed in about June. I think May or June,
Right.
and I'm going to renew one more time. And I've told my wife this too. I said I'm going to renew it one more time, and then if I don't use it, I'm going to drop it after that. If I don't use it in another year and a
Right.
half or so, I'm not going to renew it.
Right. You ain't gonna worry about fingerprints and hazmat or nothing. are you?
No,
Yeah,
no.
just keep
no.
a standard CDL.
And I might have told Tim this the other day when I talked to him, but I've been busy. I've stayed busy since I retired. Got a lot of things going on, and like I said, we're going out to Portland, and then December we got holidays. So I'm not looking to do anything the rest of this year. But maybe come about January, I'm thinking I'm going to run out of stuff to do, and it's going to get real boring sitting around. I'm going to get out and try to find something to do.
Right.
And there's a place. It's only about 5 miles from here. It's on, and I don't even know the name of the road. We live north of I-10, 10 miles. It's still called Katy. Katy is down around I-10 area, but
Okay.
my address is still Katy up here. But there's about 4 different roads I can take. You know, I just have to pick which way I want to go. One's being a toll road, but it's 5 miles from here. It's a company called Cotton Logistics.
Okay.
Has ever heard of it? And I'd never had heard of it. It's a big operation down there, and so they got a lot of trucks. They got a lot, a lot of like 1 ton and our little bigger trucks and these big trailers, van trailers they pull behind them. It's all black and white letters, Cotton Logistics. So I looked it up, and they're a global company, and their deal is, I guess here in this area mostly is the oil field, but they set up portable mess halls, cook kitchens to feed a large group of people. They also set up showers and things like that. And they also, another big thing they do is disaster areas, when there's
Right.
they have to bring a lot of stuff in. So I've been thinking after the first year, I might go over there and talk to them, because I don't want anything that's going to tie me down 5 days a week. I don't want work. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, exactly.
I want to be flexible enough where if me and Carol decide we want to take a trip out west or something for a week or two, that I can just say, hey, mark me off for the next 2 weeks because I'm not going to be available.
Exactly. Just be a part-time worker. When you need me, give me a call.
Yeah.
I'll say yes or I'll say no.
Yeah.
It don't matter. But yeah, it sounds like you've been keeping real busy, and that's good. That's good. I like that. But what did that officer say when you told him you had a camera in that truck?
He didn't say anything.
He didn't say that. Usually they change their tune on that one. So
because even though we had what was that? Smart Drive, I think is what we had. I don't remember the camera systems we had, but I had my own dash cam also, because I don't have access to the one in the truck. But
right, exactly.
Actually, I won this dash cam at one of the trucking shows. And it was a good one, and it's crystal clear, and right. I still have that video on the computer here right now of that incident.
Right.
So. There was a comment in the comments over there, and it's come from Timothy. He said that a lot of drivers complain about driver-facing cameras, that their privacy is being invaded. And he goes on to say, if you think that you're not doing anything prohibited, what are you worried about? So he said he wouldn't mind if OD ever decided to activate the lytics on the facing cameras.
Well, my thinking on that is, if I drive a day cab, I have nothing to hide. You probably see me picking my nose or doing something maybe, but but I drove a sleeper truck, and I felt like that driver facing camera was an invasion because I lived in that truck,
Sure.
And how do you know? They said, well, we're just, it's just, we're not going to see the sleep. Well, if the sleeper curtain's open and you're looking, you're going to see what you're going to see,
Exactly.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I want to remind the listening audience that we got the phone lines open, and if you want to call in, it's 251-616-2151. We'd appreciate it if y'all would call in and join the conversation here. So I just want to also say Todd Stein just started watching, so welcome Todd Stein to the show tonight for sure.
Exactly. Danny, how many states did you run in a tractor trailer?
How many what?
How many states did you make it all lower 48 or?
I did.
Did you?
Okay. I picked up and or delivered in every state. And
Wow.
then I went into Canada a lot.
Okay.
So I went into Canada up to 9/11, and after 9/11, it was too time consuming, and we quit crossing the border. We had a lot of freight going up. We had a place there that made TV, Toshiba. They had a
Right.
plant there real close to our yard. We hauled tons of Toshiba stuff to Canada. But the last time I went to Canada, I came back out of Toronto, picked up something, I forget now, but I came back across over Port Huron. Was that Blue Water? I think they call that crossing up there or something. I forget what they call it.
It sounds familiar. It's been a while
And
since.
the trucks were lined up trying to get back in the United States 15 miles.
Wow.
And, that was ridiculous, but it was what it was. And luckily our company, the company I work for, saw that it was not cost effective for us to keep going to Canada when we were going to have to lose that much time.
We got a call coming in. Let's see who this is. All right. Welcome to Truckers Voices, Mr. Ben Atkinson. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm fantastic. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you good. How about it there, Danny? Can y'all hear him good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to turn him up just a little bit. Go
Danny,
ahead.
how y'all doing?
Doing all right, brother.
I'm out here in God's country in the middle of the woods here in Lodi. But my question is, and I get this quite a bit. Maybe Danny can help us out with this. What is it that we can do to help these new drivers, or what is it to get new drivers here to do this profession that we've been in? I've been doing it for 35 years, but maybe you got something you want to share with us that will help some of these guys and ladies, a lot more professional ladies. But what can you tell us about that?
Well, I mean, for the over the road drivers, the biggest problem right now is parking. I think that's the number one problem. The lack thereof, and we're seeing a lot more truck stops and places going now to pay to park. Well, these guys that are starting out are not making a whole lot of money to begin with, and you can't afford to be paying $15 or $20 a night to park. I think that's one thing, and I think a lot of these companies are beginning to realize that they're going to have to, the trucking companies are going to have to get involved in that parking situation. And, one thing I think would help a lot is if we could somehow get our freight system work to where we can, make that run in 10 hours. I mean, I know we have 11 hours drive. But let's just make it easy. You should be able to do it in 10. And then, have a place to park, 600 miles. Well, a lot of these guys would be tickled to death if they could run 600 miles a day. But, with the ELDs, sometimes I'd have to shut down at 450 because I knew especially going up in the Northeast, I knew if I went past like not Withful, but Tom's Brook or something like that, there would be no parking. So nowadays you better be parked by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon before the sun goes down, or you're not going to get a place to park then. And so, if you could have drove 600 miles, but you had to stop at 450, now one or two things is going to happen. Either A, you're not going to make as much money that week, or you're going to have to work another day. Instead of working 5 days, now you're going to have to work 6, or you're going to have to work 7 to make your paycheck.
Right.
Dan, FMCSA has passed regulation, and I'm sure it's going to go to the courts, but they've passed regulation want all the trucks to, they agreed on a speed of 68 miles an hour. What do you think about that?
68 mile an hour? I wouldn't have a problem with that. I wouldn't have a problem with 68 mile an hour. A lot of people will. I mean, most of the time, the people that's going to have a problem with having a problem because somebody told them what to do. Not because of the 68. It's just the fact they got told they got to do 68.
I got you. Right.
I drove when I started at Big G Express. Our trucks run 66 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And I'd come out of a truck. I worked for a small company called Elk Valley out of Fayetteville, Tennessee, and I drove an old Peterbilt that would fly. The guy, it was wore out. It had 900,000 miles on it when I got it, but the guy that had it before me got it new and had got a ticket in Mississippi doing 106 mile an hour in it. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, so I had a truck. I'm not a fast driver. You won't see speeding tickets on my record because I'm just not a fast driver.
Yeah.
But, I would run 70, back then. And I come to work over at Big G. And my first load I got was going to Olathe, Kansas. And I get in that truck and it won't do but 66 mile an hour. I thought, well, I'll never get there. I'll never get out there. But after about a month of 66 mile an hour, I said, this is the best thing ever happened to me. This is easy driving at 66. I said, over here in this right lane, everybody's passing me. And I did that all through my driving career. If I'm going down 75 and you know what I'm talking about, Tim, holidays or whatever, it's just you're just I'll just jump in that right lane and drop my cruise down to about 64, 65.
Yeah.
And I'm rested when I get there instead of just my nerves wore out.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ben, what's your truck governed at?
I was just taking a laugh about that. I got a city truck. I got it with 475,000 miles on it when it came to me, and we got it governed this year up to 56. And some of the ABF road units, which should all be now, are up to 70. So we're riding by these FedEx guys.
Yeah, I've watched y'all ride by.
The highway.
I've had a front row seat there, buddy.
Let me tell you a little story. There's a fella that comes out of Dayton and he passes me twice a week, and I see him coming up there, and all I see is a big old smile and a big hand waving. He don't even run a radio. He just smiling and waving. I just giggle. I'm like, yeah, I'll be up there shortly.
Probably David Hedeker. Yeah.
So
Dave Hedeker move. He'll smile at you and keep on going.
So Ben, with that being said, if the government does put that in place, I know that's in y'all's contract. Will that just negate y'all's contract for sure?
The company has to stay within the guidelines of the law, of course. So,
right.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade for sure. I would like to think that they would stay. They're a real smart company. They'll stay within the guidelines.
Right.
But yeah, it is. It's hard to go back to where people are once you get there.
Yeah.
Right.
But the LTL guys, y'all have to deal with being able to make the turn, to get back.
Right.
Because they've got y'all pushed out to the limit pretty much.
Yeah. Some runs, yeah.
Yes, sir. We got.
But, I understand where you're coming from there, but I there for several years when I first started Big G, we ran out to the West Coast a lot. And like I said, our trucks were 66 for a couple of years, and the owner said, everybody was complaining. He said, well, if Tennessee changes the speed limit to 70, which they'd been talking about doing because the speed limit was 65 then. He said, if they change the speed limit to 70, I'll turn them up. Well, they changed the speed limit, and he was a man of his word. They turned them up to 71. And you could leave Middle Tennessee going out to the West Coast somewhere, and, between Middle Tennessee and Memphis, them big riggers, they just blow by you, just getting it.
Yeah.
On the other side of Memphis, out there between Memphis and Little Rock, that same bunch pass you again. They pass you 4 or 5 times all day long. And you pull in the truck stop and like in Oklahoma City, that's usually about where we could make it to. You pull in the truck stop and get parked, and all at once, here comes that old big fast truck behind you, because they've stopped a bunch of times. The key is keeping the left door closed.
Danny, we got another call coming in here. Who do we have on Truckers Voices line tonight? Hello? Who do we have on the phone tonight? Well, they're not talking. Hey, if you can hear me, call back. All right. Well,
Danny, I do have a question kind of related with the truck parking. Did you cook in your truck?
I did for the last probably 6 years, 7 years.
Okay, so you actually was cooking in your truck prior to.
I did. I actually kind of had a health scare. I went in for went to my doctor, and they said my sugar level was a little high. I wasn't diabetic, but it was high, and it
Right.
had not been. And my blood pressure was high also. And so I took and decided then, because I'd never done that. I'd never cooked anything in the truck. I'd carry cold drinks and Little Debbie's and some crackers and stuff like that. But, I didn't cook any meals or do anything like that. So I went to Walmart and I bought a microwave that would fit in the truck. Our trucks were designed to put one in, a maximum 700 watt, I think is what they told us. And anyway, that's what I got. Put it in the truck. And so my wife would cook meals, and I don't have a problem with eating the same thing a couple of nights in a row.
Exactly.
And she would cook these. She would cook big meals, and then she would. I bought these square containers, and it's enough for a meal, and she'd put a meal in it and freeze it.
Right.
So I'd leave out, and I didn't eat all my meals out, but I could cook oatmeal now, in the microwave. I could have oatmeal for breakfast, or I could have some good cereal and milk, because our trucks at that time had refrigerators in them.
Right.
And, lunch, I'd have peanut butter and crackers. But I didn't spend near as much money once I started, got that microwave. In fact, I used that microwave the whole time. I bought it home and sold it in the yard sale.
Hey, Danny, we got a call on the line. Let's see who we got here. Who do we have on Truckers Voices line?
Hey, can you hear me now, Tim?
I can hear you now. Who we got here?
Hey, Russ Simpson from Ohio, the Buckeye State.
Hey, Russ.
Hey, Russ.
How you doing, brother?
Good. Good to see Danny. Good to see retirement. Looks like it's doing you good there, Danny.
Yeah, it's been great. I tell you, it's been great. This morning, I told you we were going through the garage, and I bought some racks, and I bought this system from Home Depot that you get the racks and the containers that fit in them and all this. And we had these boxes of stuff, and I found a jacket that Big G gave us for Christmas the very first year. And probably the only one in existence now, because I think there was 12 drivers at that Christmas party. But, we were so proud of this coat. It was like a satin baseball jacket with the Big G logo on the back. Oh, yeah. And and I hate to say this, but I don't know what to do with them. I've got about 10 coats that I got over the years from Big G for different things, like for safe driver or 1 million miles or 2, but they all have my name on them, and I can't do anything with them. I got a whole container of those things out there because I didn't wear them. I didn't need. I mean, I wore what I needed, but I didn't need all that many coats.
You just need to find somebody named Danny to give them to.
Yeah, but it's got Big G on it and million miles, and I don't know if I want. I don't want it to show up on somebody on the 10 o'clock news tonight that just robbed the liquor store or something like that,
Yeah, go ahead, Russ.
Hey, I found a picture of me and Danny when we went down to Herschel's when they dedicated that truck stop to him. Remember that, Danny? You stopped?
Yeah, down at the TA there. The Petro there on 285. Yeah,
that's the Crack Shack.
Yeah. You and I both had it was back in the COVID. We had to wear them stupid masks. I took a picture of me with the mask on. And I can attest to the 62 mile an hour trucks. I spent 32 years in the 62 mile an hour trucks, and when yellow went by the wayside, I got a little gig going hauling fuel, and I got one of them. I'm gonna get me a sticker for my truck I drive now. It's an official member of the Left Lane gang. Come on.
Left Lane Russell.
Rooster Cruising, baby. Rooster Cruising.
Some of these guys won't know this. That is one of those Munford Left Lane trucks. Back in the day, that Munford. I might be pronouncing that wrong. They were somewhere out of the Midwest called Beef.
Yep, holding that swinging meat, baby.
Yeah. They were Left Lane all day.
That's right. That's right. If you ain't in the left lane, you ain't doing it, baby. Get out of it.
Yeah.
So let me let's go and let's talk to Russell here just for a minute. So Russell, everything's going good. You're driving a tanker and everything. So how does it feel to be out of the LTL industry?
Well, it was kind of. I had a couple options that I would have went to if they would have, gave me the green light, but like nothing really. I think everybody's on a hiring freeze, and the economy's. I don't know. Trucking jobs are just not as plentiful as they were, so I just kind of lucked into this. Family friend, their families had this little bulk fuel plant here not far from where I live, and he just happened to need a driver, so I said I'll give it a try. So I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to like it, but I kind of enjoy it. The hours are good, and haul a lot of diesel fuel to the farmers. They're in the field right now, so that's pretty busy. And he's got about 15 little mom and pop like marathon stores in just small towns within about 100-mile radius of where I live, and it's kind of been a relief to. I wasn't really looking forward to going back in the LTL, on the bottom of the board since I've done it for 30 years. But there was one company that I was going to go to, but I just never got the call. So
Right.
It's one of them things,
Right. Do you ever see yourself back in the LTL?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't think I would go. I don't think I would go if they called me now, because I kind of really enjoy what I'm doing, and it's one of the things. There's so many avenues and different, strokes for different folks in trucking. Find one thing you like, you kind of stick to it.
Right. I know our friend Herschel. He's loving hauling that heavy equipment and what he's doing. He's just, he's doing really good over there. I'm sure you've talked to
Yeah.
him before, since then.
Yep.
But anyway,
And I can feel what Danny's saying about them jackets. You got all those things you got from Yellow, like Driver of the Year jackets, and where are you gonna wear them to?
Yeah.
Steve Fields and I was talking about that the other night. It's like, you got all them things they gave us. What are you gonna do with them now?
Yep.
Exactly.
Maybe we need to
Flags,
create it.
different things. What do you do with all these things?
We just need to do a driver hall of fame and start putting them in a driver hall of fame.
Too late on mine. I got rid of most of mine. Oh, me.
Well, Russ, we appreciate you calling in, and
Take care, Russ.
and stay in touch with us,
Yep,
Russ.
you too. Good talking to you.
See you, brother.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye. Well, gentlemen, guess what? It is 9:03, and we have went. The time flies by when you're having fun,
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Yes, sir.
But-
Yes, sir.
I got one thing I want to add.
Yes.
I got this. I've got all these jackets, but something else I got a ton of? Toy trucks. Yeah, well, Big G gave us some, over the years for different things. Because every time we change trucks, like from Volvo to Mack or whatever, we'd get a truck. I've got a bunch of them. And I got a bunch of cat scale trucks that I was given. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these toy trucks I got.
I got an idea. You know what I'm talking about, Steve?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, let me know next week.
Oh, well, we think that Herschel Evans would love to hear from you on that
Oh,
for the safety drive.
I'll send him some.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I did send him some. I did give Herschel some for his drive for a cure a couple of years in a row.
Right.
The cat scale, not the one they normally give out. It was like a special edition.
Right.
They do every year.
Yeah. If you want to get with me or whoever, get them to us. We'll get them in the safety drive for you.
Yep. Sure will.
Yep. So, well, Danny, thank you for coming on, and tell your bride thank you for the time that she lent us with you tonight.
Well, we got plenty of time around here right now.
But Danny, just give everybody out there a word of encouragement and a word of safety before we go off the air.
Be considerate of others. Watch out for everybody around you. and don't get in a hurry. Don't get in a hurry. Do that pre-trip. Don't cut a corner. Yeah, do what you're supposed to do, and you'll be fine.
Right.
Yep.
Good advice. Good advice there. All right. Well, you don't be a stranger to the show. Call in anytime you want to, Danny. You're welcome to come on anytime you want to. I might have you come on, and if me or Steve's, I may have you come on and co-host with us one night.
Okay.
There you go.
So,
Sounds good.
or if I fire Steve, I'm paying him too much.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of crickets.
I'm going to start asking for that bonus check. I want to know where that bonus check is.
Yeah, the Christmas bonus coming up, right?
Yeah, I hear about that bonus right now. Yeah. Or
Oh,
man.
yeah, no doubt. Nah, man.
Fellas, it's good talking to all of
Yes.
you. Y'all stay safe, okay?
all right, Danny. Well, hang tight. We'll talk to you on the other side after we go off the air. Okay, Steve, if you don't mind, go ahead and close us out with a word of. You thought I was going to say prayer, didn't you? A word of encouragement and a word of.
Hey, I never know what he's going to throw at me, so I kind of got to be ready for all aspects. But not like I always say, safety starts when the feet hits the ground in the morning. Y'all be safe out there. Remember, the most important trip of the day is that trip home. Get home to them loved ones. Check it out. And I just got one thing to say. This is for you, Russ. Whoop, whoop. Get her done, baby. Ain't no feeling like a left lane mobiling, baby.
Oh.
Hi, Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
All right, that's me, Tim the Toolman Taylor, and I just want to tell you tonight that we've had fun on this show. We've absolutely had a blast with Danny Smith, and you know what? Tomorrow's Friday. This show's going to air again at 9 a.m. in the morning. If you want to go back and listen to it, or if you want to tell your friends about it, tell your family about it, tell your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, anybody else that wants to listen to Truckers Voices, we would appreciate that y'all would get the word out there. We're on YouTube, and we're on Facebook, and we're on Spotify and Apple, okay? All right, y'all be careful out there tomorrow. People's going to be trying to get to where they're going, and they're usually in a hurry. So you know what that means? We got to watch out for those who aren't watching out for themselves. Hey, I get to go trucking. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.